certainly was. Argentina still standing through to the last 16 of the competition. Croatia have beaten Iceland, so Nigeria and Iceland exit the competition. Of course, huge sympathy for Nigeria. They did all they could in St. Petersburg tonight, but a moment of incredible magic from Rojo gives Argentina the win. So there you go. Great scenes for Argentina of joy, but scenes of devastation for Nigeria and their players. And Eamon, look, the mood in the studio beforehand, we didn't think that Messi would still be standing after tonight. They are, and he is. Yes, and I think these scenes we're seeing explain why the World Cup is unlike any other competition. Whole nations' emotions are engaged by this. It doesn't make sense. There are more important things in life. Yeah. But look at Lionel Messi, look at the Argentinian people, and then look at the Nigerian fans, and I'm sure in Nigeria how much they'll be hurting. And the nation engages in a way that it does with nothing else. And this is what the World Cup, it's when it's at its most dramatic and most fascinating. It was a terrible game, and there were some bad performances. But Lionel Messi has everything in his life. Look at him there. He's just so happy, and that's priceless. Richie, pure drama.
It was dramatic, it was frantic, particularly in that second half. These are the scenes, personally, I would have liked to have seen, or liked to have predicted at the start of the night. Messi still in the competition. We get to see him again in the second round. I think they have a very, very difficult task, a very different challenge than they had tonight up against France in the next round. There's so many weak points on the pitch. We believe it's chaotic off the pitch. At times it's chaotic on the pitch, but they found a way. They did enough. Sympathy for Nigeria, but Argentina did it.
Yeah, they are through. And Liam, actually, I don't see Sampaoli there. I think I saw him just as the full-time whistle went. I think I saw him heading back to the dressing room.
Yeah,
the Argentina manager.
I didn't see him shake hands with the Nigerian manager, which I thought was bad. Or maybe I'm wrong. Okay. But they're through by the skin of their teeth. Absolutely. When you think that Royo, as Brian said in commentary, he was having a nightmare. He was all over the place, indisciplined. I don't know what he was doing in the box. And there was a great cross in from Mikado, and he's met it with his wrong foot, really. He's very left-footed, and he's buried it. And, you know, I feel sorry for Nigeria because they had a great chance. They also had a penalty claim that went to VAR, and for the first time, the referee stood by his decision not to give it, you know. So drama in this World Cup so far has been incredible.
It certainly has, and we will be dissecting all of the action from that second half. It was pure drama. Nigeria, unfortunately for them, go out, but Argentina go through to play France. It's going to be Denmark, Croatia in the last 16 as well. The last, perhaps, of their 9 lives. Rojo with a stunning goal. What on earth was he doing up there? And it brought a reaction from the Argentina bench. And Eamon, there's Sampaoli, but he's kind of celebrating on his own. He's no one to hug.
Oh, he's looking to hug somebody, but a bear wouldn't hug him, as they say, because he's isolated from the whole country, his team, and he's alone.
But he's actually, well, we don't know what exactly has happened behind the scenes, but however they've done it, the team he's managing have got into the last 16.
Yeah, but you'd usually see in that scene his backroom staff and everybody around him, but he's clearly untouchable because he's already yesterday's man.
Yeah. I wonder what's going to happen to him. Like, we know, we're led to believe the players have asked the Argentinian FA president to sack him. We know that. That's public, so that's believed to have
been... That's not been denied, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of the things have been denied, which we know to be true. But if that's the position internally, like, what's his role for the next? They're not playing till the weekend. Is he going to be taking training? Is he going to organise team meetings? Will he be
I think to
doing
be fair
a
to him, Richie, he
made
the substitutions, didn't he? He made the substitutions. He is still in charge, albeit very, very tenuously, but he's making the
relationship. What impact is he going to have on the players now?
Well, he's obviously making a substitution, so I'm glad for him as well. Like that pressure of that match, Dara, you know what I mean? Yeah. Argentina to go out in those circumstances, in that group, would have been humiliation for the whole nation. They've won the World Cup twice.
Yeah.
You know, Messi going out, all these guys, Mascherano and Royo and Otamendi, They couldn't have gone home. I don't think they could have gone home. So to get that lifeline, which it was, is the pressure must be so immense on these people.
And he actually said in the build-up to this game, Eamon Sampaoli, he said, I feel like a criminal. There's been such a huge reaction against him and some of the players, but particularly him, because he's the face of it as the manager.
Yeah, but we know from watching the way the English treat coaches who fail, the Italians, everybody, the coach is the first person you look at when your national team fails. And they failed really badly. And if they'd gone out to Nigeria, as Liam says, this is a powerful footballing nation with a powerful history. But they just don't have the players. No matter who's coaching that team, they're going to struggle because the players aren't good enough. So he's the man and he hasn't integrated people into the side. Like Dybala, who was on the bench all night, he really should be playing. But for now, he's out of jail, and they play France. I think it's on Saturday, and they're just alive. But what you see Messi at the end, and the other players and the fans. Nothing is like this. People talk about the Champions League being, more popular and all of that. Nobody reacts like that until you get to the World Cup. We know the feeling ourselves from Jack Charlton era and Mick McCarthy taking the team to Saipan, to Korea and Saipan.
Yeah, so let's not do that one.
No, we know that feeling, and it's wonderful, and it's innocent, and the most hardened professional, like Mascherano, at the end, he and Messi hugging each other, is wonderful. And the reverse is true. For Nigerians, that's really crushing. To lose a chance to go into the knockout stages with a couple of minutes left to play, they'll be heartbroken. And that's the X factor in World Cup football. In any sport. It'll be the same in rugby, the World Cup. But in soccer in particular, that's the X factor that's missing from the club game.
Yeah. The flaws, Richie, that are there with this team, this Argentina team, and like by hook or by crook, they managed to get through this evening. Like, there are while they have a player like Messi, there's always a chance. But there are so many other parts of that team, and you guys said it before, during, after. Brian said it on commentary. Part of it is an accident waiting to happen.
Where do you start?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, there's the goalkeeper issue, which on its own would really hamper their chances. The central defensive partnership, if it's a two of Rocco and Otamendi, I think they're vulnerable. He sometimes is a back three, he sometimes is a back four, so there's inconsistency of selection in terms of the formation. He's called up 59 different players, and he's only been in the job since last May. He's never played the same starting 11 twice. There's a power struggle. We don't know the specifics. You're right, there's absolutely power struggle in that dressing room, and Sampaoli at the moment appears to be losing out. The midfield position of Mascherano in the middle, his legs are gone. He's indisciplined, but his legs are gone, and on the ball tonight he was gifting Nigeria possession too many times. And up front, Eamon's right. Who do you pick and where do you put them? What's that formation that is going to do the job? And at the moment they're completely reliant on Messi, which tonight there was moments when he produced the talent. So they off the field, they're a mess. They're as chaotic as things can be. But brilliant, like what a drama.
They dug deep. I mean, Rojo, as Richie just said, I mean, Manchester United fans would be going mad.
They should play him up front.
Yeah. But it was a great goal.
It was.
From the most unexpected source.
Let's have a look.
And as Brian Kerr said, Mercado had a nightmare. He's the guy who delivered this perfect cross. And Victor Moses, the Nigerian wing-back, I mean, he is at fault here. He's been doing brilliantly for Chelsea, but he doesn't have a defender's instinct. Now, this is Mercado, there's the ball, and Victor Moses doesn't get there. And Rojo, amazingly, astonishingly, scores the goal of his lifetime.
He's placed that. He's placed it on the ball, his side foot into that corner. That's the only place he could score.
And Victor Moses should really get a challenge on that. He's a converted wing-back. He was a winger. Doesn't have defenders' instincts. He's done brilliantly.
They lost their organisation, probably because Rojo was up there for whatever reason. He happened to appear in the box, But I felt a bit sorry for as Eamon said, for the Nigerian. They had a couple of great chances after they scored a penalty there.
Yeah, we're going to have a look at those. But let's look at their equaliser, that goal from... It was a fabulous goal from the penalty kick itself from Moses. But the whole incident that led up to it.
Very calmly taken penalty kick, yeah. It came in the first few minutes of the second half. Just this defending from a long throw. 3 Argentinian players go for the same ball, no communication. And this, we spoke about the indiscipline of the general team and Mascherano in particular at half-time. The referee was quite clear, he was quite decisive. He gave the penalty kick and he booked Mascherano straight away. VAR officials come into it to review the decision. The referee didn't change his mind. It's a correct decision in my view. One of the things, like, we're all trying to work out what the long-term implications of VAR are, or if it's going to stay, the timing of it. But incidents like that, players are going to get penalised more and more often, because if the referee misses them, which in this case he didn't, VAR are going to pick them up. So the other thing as well, we saw the Argentinian players surrounding the referee, asking him to go to VAR. Now you're justified in surrounding the referee because there's rewards, because there's a chance he can reverse this decision. So that's one of the unavoidable outcomes of VAR. So if FIFA want to reduce scenes like last night and scenes we saw tonight where players are surrounding the referee, they're going to have to clamp down heavily on that, because in the absence of some serious clamping down, we're going to see more and more of it, because now harassing the referee is potentially very, very profitable.
But this guy, the Turkish referee, is a strong official, and certainly an awful lot stronger than the guy from Paraguay last night. But Liam, it's like our personal journey with VAR. This is VAR and me, let's call it. The penalty claim that was turned down. The referee was offered the view, have a look at it again, and then he decided against giving the penalty.
Yeah, it was a Gallo. He had a great chance. It comes off the arm of Rojo, I think.
Yeah.
And he had a great chance on the volley. Now, the referee wasn't going to give anything, but I think they asked him to come and have a look. And for the first time, I think the referee said, no, I'm happy to stick with my decision. And that's maybe because he is a strong referee. He's refereed the Champions League final. We see him at the tail end of the Champions League all the time. Kaka, he's from Turkey. And he actually had the persona to say, personality or whatever, to say, no, I'm going to stick with my decision. I was having to think about, because we had a huge debate about it last night, Dara. I think they could actually improve things by letting us hear what's being said.
Yeah.
Like if it's cricket and if it's rugby, you can actually hear what the dialogue is between the referee and the guys upstairs. And I think that would help an awful lot. It's not going to happen this tournament, but I think they should look at that, because that would clear up for everybody. There needs to be a transparency, and it would take away all that conspiracy theory that I brought into it last night.
Yeah, sure, I know. Yeah, no, but absolutely, and they're the kind of things that, you know, this system will evolve. Like, I have to say, thinking about it after last night, you're thinking, is this system even going to be there after the World Cup? Because last night was such a bad night for it. Now, has it had a better day?
It was a good night for it tonight.
Okay.
A good night for it tonight.
Yeah.
I think the referee did well. I think the Paraguay referee didn't have that gravitas to say, no, that's not. There was not much difference in between those two decisions.
Yeah.
It accidentally hit the defender's arm. But last night, when he was asked to go and see it, maybe felt under pressure, maybe didn't have the personality to say, no, I want to stick with my decision.
The Egyptian referee of the England-Panama game, I think, on Sunday, laid down a marker. He gave the penalties, 2 penalties, no messing. If you grab someone in the box, done.
Yeah.
And I think he laid down a marker or reminder to other referees in the tournament, you've got to deal with this, and this is how you deal with it. If you have to give 2 penalties, give 2 penalties. We have to get rid of it out of the game. But I watched the discussion last night, and Didi Hammam, I have immense respect for Didi, and he said that it has trialled all season in the Bundesliga, and it hasn't been good for the game. I don't think that's because of the technology. I think it's because of the people. And if the people can get their act together, and I think Liam's idea is a very good idea. It happens in rugby union, it happens in cricket. What is the conversation? Everyone should know that, people at home and also people in the stadium. So it can be refined. I think Keith Andrew made the point last night, you shouldn't be trialling it at the World Cup. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
You should perfect it.
Well, they're not really trialling it, they're using it. Here we go.
Yeah, I know,
they're hoping to fix the problems as it goes along.
But the point he was making was that it's still at the trial and error stage, and you should only get it in the World Cup when you have perfected it.
Yeah. Others have said it's not fit
Yeah.
for purpose at all. We're going to look, Eamon, at the good play from Nigeria because, look, you know, they're unlucky to have gone out of the competition this evening.
Yes, they are very unlucky, and they can say they've had a good World Cup. But this is the 6th time they've played Argentina in World Cup finals, and they've never got a victory. But there was some good play. Musa was involved in a lot of it, and you know, they've nothing to be ashamed of. It's a really good performance. They'll be heartbroken, of course, but they'll come again. There's no doubt about that. And you'll see here, you know, that the good defending, winning the ball, not playing the man, looking for the ball, winning it again, cleverness, good passing, and this is a real chance. And at that stage, they were doing really well. It was all square, and it looked like they were going to the next round. That was a real chance. Keeper did well to stand up and save it. So they've nothing to be ashamed of, but I'm sure they'd be heartbroken to lose to a goal such as the one they lost to.
Well, this match certainly framed very much with Lionel Messi in mind. It could very well have been the last time he played for Argentina, but there's going to be at least one more game for the magic player that Messi is. And his performance tonight, we're going to see his goal, obviously, here, and a close thing from a free kick as well. Great save, Richie.
I think he had more of a positive impact in the first half than the second half, but he did produce moments of real class. I think his goal was one of the best of the tournament so far. We spoke a moment ago about the pressure the manager must be under, Sampaoli. It must be immeasurable, the amount of pressure and the weight that's on this fella's shoulders, not just from the other 10 teammates and everyone else in the squad, but the football mad nation of 45 million people, I think, all expecting him. He got hammered by the Argentinian press for his performance against Croatia. But things like this, there's so few players can pick out a pass like that. Perfectly weighted to Higuain, the goalkeeper comes out and does really well. Goalkeeper does exceptionally well on this occasion. You can see from this replay, this angle, he gets the crucial touch just to nudge it onto the post. The second half, it was less of an impact, as I said, but he's still in the competition. He's off, he's scored, he just made a couple of bad decisions there. Couldn't get away from the defender here on this occasion.
What's the tackle here, Richie? Boom.
Boom.
You
But
know,
again, the role he has, we saw him at half-time in the dress or in the tunnel area, talking to the players, inspiring them. We don't know what the relationship between him and Sampaoli is. He's still in the tournament.
but given his status in the game, I mean, he could not give a damn. But it shows you how much your nation and your country, how potent that is. Because he could do it a rest, but he's so happy they're going on to play France. So there's no cynicism. You know, people say money is making footballers not care and all of that. He cared tonight. They all cared.
It still matters. It's because, you know, I suppose there's the debate about, Liam, you know, the power and the money of the club game, and you see that kind of thing tonight. Now, no, Argentina got lucky. Whoever it is was making the substitutions and just throwing attackers up front. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And then they get this moment of brilliance from a centre-half.
Eamon described it, the feeling about playing for your country and representing your country at this level, and the matter of getting results so that your country people are going to be proud of you is huge. It's just the best feeling in the world, you know, and that guy has been under so much pressure because, let's face it, he is the only class player in that team at the moment. The others they have good players, but they're all bang out of form, and then they have a lot of ordinary players. Yeah. The commitment's there from Argentina, the energy's there from Argentina, but the indiscipline is all over the place. But France, Argentina, there's less pressure on them. It might cause a surprise with Messi.
In the globalised world we're living in, it proves how deep pride in your country or your place, your home place. We see it in Ireland with the GAA, hurling football and the county, and how much it matters, or the townland in the local. You know, it's huge. And sport allows you to experience that and express it in a very benign way, in a good way. So it's nationalism and patriotism in a good way. And that was really, I thought, what we saw tonight from both sets of players, you know, and particularly from Messi. It was marvellous.
It certainly was marvellous.